Hey everyone, this is one of those episodes where I dig into my journal a little bit, and I'm going to talk about what I've been going through this morning. What I've been going through, that sounds like it was really treacherous. It wasn't really. What I mean is just what's been going through my mind. I've been setting up the course, the Tutors Who Thrive course, and that's been sat in the background for around about 2 weeks since the last course finished. I always wait for the feedback and then push into what people are saying. That's always a tricky time because there's always critics, there's people, and I say that with love as well, because I want people to find fault with it. It's not perfect. It's not the finished article. I don't think it ever will be, but I need it to be getting better each time it gets delivered. And the plan at the beginning of 2023 was to run it 3 times, but we actually ran it 4 times, including the intensive version, which meant there's been a load of feedback this year. Included in the 2023 plan was to increase it to 8 weeks, with the plan to then go into 12 weeks for 2024. And that's easily done. I've actually now written 13 different sessions that can be used in the Tutors Who Thrive course, of which there's actually only 10 spaces, which gives you an indication of the level of feedback that I've been getting, and also like what I get from it anyway. Each time I deliver the session, I make my own notes and decide, actually, I want to do it this, or include this bit of information next time, or that didn't really work, I don't like it, so I'm going to get rid of that part and maybe get rid of it completely. It's actually, over the years, there's a few sessions that I've only ever appeared once that are making a new appearance because there's new information and my own knowledge has grown over time. But there's always this lingering thought, and I call them gremlins, really, things that sit in the back of your mind that tell you, it's the imposter syndrome type effect, I suppose, really. But I've been working with my business coach now for 3 months, and it's someone I've worked with in the past. So we've got a really good relationship, and he really keeps me on track. And that's not the only thing I love about our conversations. But you probably know, those who have listened to the podcast for a long time or have been in the group for quite a while, that I prefer straight talking advice. I don't like advice beating around the bush. I just want it to be given to me straight. I can get upset about it. I can sort of dwell on it for a while, but essentially I need that so I can push forward. And I don't dwell on things too long now. My mindset's much stronger now than when it was a couple of years ago. So how I started the podcast with there's always a critic. I do really mean that with love. I want people to find fault so I can improve. A recent podcast I recorded with Tom Delahunt, who is an author. He's studying his PhD. He has a lot of what he researches and talks about and then teaches is about trauma. And he says that he's failing in a magnificent way. And I feel that as businesses, we have to be prepared to fail. Otherwise, we wouldn't start the business in the first place. So just to give you context of what I've been doing this morning, in between tutoring and now, I've had a couple of hours where I can really go at the strategy and vision for 2024. I've been putting together the package for a membership, which I really wanted to launch last year. This time last year, I was consumed by the idea of a membership, but I think for the wrong reasons. This year, it's coming from a completely different perception. And the reason for that is my conversations with my business coach. The reason for that is because I've had a whole year of personal growth, and it's led me to this point now. And so I'm coming at it with a different angle. I'm trying to create a package around where the course sits with the membership. Now, it's hard enough putting yourself out there with a course, and I'm finding it mentally difficult to create the membership because, one, it's brand new. It's not something I've done before. And with the price point being lower, because that's the point of a membership, I'm still obsessed with offering value. And there's a part of me, I keep looking at what's going to be included and going, is this going to be enough? Do people really want this? Now, I'm in two what I would call business memberships. I've got other subscriptions to things, but these 2 memberships that I'm thinking about that are really business focused. And I look at what they offer, and they're at varying degrees of the scale in terms of how much access you get to the I suppose, the main person in the membership and what other things are available. But both aren't cheap on a monthly kind of basis, I suppose. And what I'm offering is a really low level access to support, which I find, which I'm passionate about, because as you guys know, who've been around for a while, like when I was looking for business support right at the beginning of the journey, I had to keep taking massive financial risks just so I could get the learning in, get the things in place that I needed to connect with other people who were ahead of me. And it was risky, and it was a big barrier. I didn't do it for a number of years because of that, until I got to the point where I was like, if I don't go for this now, I'm not going to be able to make the progress in my life that I want. So I've been stood here this morning, and I'm not going to lie, I actually wrote down what was going to be in the membership. It's been in, I say in about 5 minutes, but it's been in the background of my thoughts and in my journal for the last 12 months. Like from that decision of, I did launch it last year and I had a few people interested, but I didn't actually go ahead with it because it just wasn't done in the right way. I think in my mind it was done with creating monthly income rather than giving people the value. Whereas now I know I can give people the value, but it's just looking at what level. And so I've written it down today, what would be included in a monthly membership. And I keep thinking, people are going to want it. Right? Are you good enough? Do people want to connect with you in this way at this level? And then on the other side of my strategy sheet, I've got the course written down, and it's the same questions. And what I noticed, and I caught it, I was like, what's the proof? Well, last year I supported well over 100 tutors just in the Tutors Who Thrive course on its own. That's not including membership, not including workshops. That's not included going to networking events. It's not included doing the ad hoc messaging I do on Facebook Messenger, or the free lives that we've done in the Facebook group. You know, when you start actually collating everything that actually happens, I think the proof is there. The proof is sat that people do want the support, and if it's providing value, then, and it's going to help people take their business to the next level, then I think people would pay for that, particularly if there's enough access there so they really feel like they're getting some support. But it's these gremlins that I'm really like battling with. Every time I look at it, I think, oh, should I get rid of that? What do I need to add? And how many of us go through that when we're creating a new service? Or perhaps it's a service that you're already offering, like in your tuition business, but just something in the back of your head stops you posting it on your Facebook page or updating your website, or stops you from attending that networking meeting where your ideal client is walking around. It's just these things that we kind of get in our own way. And I felt like I was there about half an hour ago, and gave myself a bit of a talking to, and I've reached out to a few people to say, look, am I being mad? Is this good value for money? Because that's essentially why people would join. One, because they can get access to the person they feel that they connect with and that can help them with their business. But essentially, they want to know they get value for their money that they're going to spend, that they get enough access, that they get enough support that's going to help them grow their business over time. I think I've come up with something that is a complete no-brainer for new tuition businesses, or if you are a tuition business that have started, but you're just looking to grow to the next phase. And that phase would be to get to around anywhere between £3,000 a month to £5,000 a month. I think I've just come up with a complete no-brainer offer. I'm not going to share it in this podcast because I don't like selling on the podcast, but what I would do is I'll leave all the notes in so that you can come and join us in the Facebook group. If you're in the Facebook group, it'll be in there anyway. And I'm going to be launching all of this within the next week so that people can start to share their interest, start to get involved with the landing page and get more information. So that's where I'm at, really. It was just about sharing with you that we have these things in our mind that actually block us from creating or getting our service out there for people to actually engage with. And most of the time, it's just our own thoughts that if we can control them, if we can acknowledge them, get rid of them and move on, our businesses will grow. I listened to an amazing podcast this week where Ed Milet was talking about what he does in his mind when he gets these self-doubts. And he said he visualizes them as a record, these self-doubts, and he scratches them. When they come in, he scratches them and they go away. And he said, well, you scratch a record enough, it becomes unplayable. And I really like that metaphor, because we do need to change the narrative in our mind. We do need to get rid of these so they don't play anymore until we get to the point where we are confident and we're basing decisions upon like the proof that we've got in the past. What are we bringing for, and then we can bring that forward. So work on the mindset, scratch out these demons, these gremlins that stop us from growing, to stop us from going out there, because we can all do this. And I've mentioned this before, like where big business people have stood on stage when I've gone to conferences and they say, you know, if I can do it, you can do it. And there's always been that element of doubt in my head. I was like, really, is that really true? But the more I connect with other business owners and amazing speakers like Teresa Heath Waring, who's a podcast I recorded with a few weeks ago, or the more I meet people like Lisa Johnson in real life, you just realize that these people are just doing the same sorts of things as us, but they're not allowing their self-doubts to get in the way to stop them from growing. And they're prepared to take risks. And they're now living a life of where they're rewarded by those risks. And who doesn't want to reach that point? I mean, if you're listening to this as a tuition business owner or potentially thinking of starting one, just think 5 years into the future. If you start today, your life will be better off. So I'm going to leave you with that. And if you've got any questions from this or anything resonates with you, please reach out to me. My email address is really easily found in the Facebook group. You can leave comments on YouTube. You can reach out to me on Spotify as well. So yeah, let me know how you're getting on. And if you need any support, you know exactly where to find me. Right, see you soon.